Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday and welcome to Learning LinkedIn Open to Work. I am Matt Wolf, CEO and founder of Ticket Time Machine. Today, we got a great program for you with an excellent panel. It's going to be catered around people looking for work and people helping people find jobs. So I want to introduce the panel to start. We'll start with Jill, who has been my co-host for the first two episodes. This is number 3. Jill, welcome.
Hi, thank you guys. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I'm getting some feedback on my end. All right, there we go. Just wanted to say hi to everybody. I think some of you may have met me in the past, and thank you guys for joining us today. I'm in Los Angeles, where it is not snowing yet. And for those of you who don't know me, I am probably what you would call a LinkedIn micro-influencer, if you want to give it a title. Got a bit of a network, and we'll talk about what I've done with my network later today, but wanted to thank everyone for joining us.
I don't know what it looks like on your screen, but I'm just going to go from top to bottom on mine. Chris.
Hey, everybody. My name is Chris Moore. I am a CPG industry team leader in Northwest Arkansas. My team calls on Walmart and Sam's Club, and I am attempting to be more of an influencer like Jill, and I just enjoy sharing, posting jobs when I see them.
Jen?
Hey, everybody. My name is Jen Corsilli. I work for Live Nation Entertainment, work for AEG, so very much focused in the live entertainment industry. I've been sharing jobs for a couple of years now, and really ticked it up when our industry got slammed with the pandemic. So my focus is really just on using LinkedIn as a tool to see those different job opportunities.
Yeah, I think ticked it up is a little bit of an understatement, but we'll let everyone else judge that. Linda?
Hi, Linda Beltran. I started a Facebook page called Friends Helping Friends Find Work last March when so many of my friends in live entertainment were looking for work. So currently I'm with Hitachi, but from when I started the page and now I actually lost a job, found a job. So I'm right there with everybody.
Thanks. Andrew?
How's it going? Andrew Haynes. I've owned and operated minor league sports teams for about 20 years. Last year when COVID started, I started a podcast, The Andrew Haynes Show, and Free Agent Fridays to highlight people who have lost their jobs due to COVID. And it's been very rewarding. It's been great helping people. Looking forward to continuing to help people. Lately, people have reached out to me to start posting their jobs, which has been great to help get them more applicants. So just like the rest of you guys, I think it's great. We got to do what we can to help out.
Great. Mark?
Yeah, hi, my name is Mark Goldberg. I'm at Method Media Intelligence. I'm the CRO. And very similar to Jen, I just, I have a very big network, and when I see something, I say something, and I've been paying it forward for some time now. I think it's great that, when people post in my network and I see that, and I'm like, hey, wait, someone else may need to see that. You just, tag the job poster and let the seeker see.
Yep. And we're gonna hit on that. It's a great point. Lee?
Hey everyone, my name is Lee Meltzer. I am a director of sports and entertainment publicity and marketing at Rogers & Cowan PMK. I personally started doing a lot of posting right after COVID hit because a lot of my friends had informed me that they had lost their jobs, and I figured, how can I help? So as a connector with my job, I wanted to connect as many people as possible. I love connecting. I love meeting new people and introducing people. So like Jen and Linda and Andrew had said, my goal here, and Mark had said, I'm here to really help people find great people to work with. I've asked for people to send me jobs. Jen, I've definitely posted several of yours, and Linda, I know I've shared several of yours as well. But the goal here is let's just open our networks, let's help, and let's really be the people that we want other people to be like if we were in that situation.
Yeah, so, I think that pretty much sums it up. I could say for everyone that I know here, and that's why you guys are sitting here. We got Donnie joining in. Thanks to everyone for the support. Put your questions in the comment section, and we'll highlight them. If you're looking for work, put your LinkedIn. Bethany was an intern for me. She's a great candidate. Put what you're looking for. Put your LinkedIn. Put anything. talk about what you're looking for. And because we got people here who are hiring, we got other people who are networking. Someone else probably knows someone that you might want to be talking to. So that's what we're kind of looking to do here today. It's going to be a big job fair, love fest, networking. Just keep putting. We'll bring some people on if you want to come on and talk. I think we could probably bring you on to sort of share your story. And I know we got some people here who are still looking for work while they're sharing their story. So they're going to talk a little bit about their, hey, Caitlin, talk a little bit about their story too. So I'm going to share my screen for a minute and just go over some slides here, and hopefully it'll work. There, let's see. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So again, we all did some introductions here today. The people that are on my panel are here because they're sharing jobs, and all day, every day, and jobs, great jobs from high profile companies. And so every time they share a job, it gets the option for it to be spread to millions and millions of people. And how does that happen? We'll talk about that a little bit. I thought we'd have a little bit of fun at the beginning. These are some pictures, funny pictures that I saw as we were preparing for this event. We got some lyrics from songs regarding working. But these are, as funny as these are actually some of the trials and tribulations that people who are looking for work are running into. And how do you get past some of that? So that's some of the things that we're looking to answer today with people who are posting jobs, people who are hiring, and people who are looking themselves. Some of these are some real problems that people are experiencing, and we want to talk about it. We want to talk about how to get past that. 5 things all job seekers should do on LinkedIn right now. A lot of this is common sense. Add open to work icon to your profile. There's something you could click that'll give that little green thing open to work on LinkedIn. Put that in your profile if you're looking for work. Now, if you're not looking for work, my suggestion is don't put that on there. I see a lot of people who have that on there and they're not really looking for work. I think we should really highlight the people who are looking for work, and that's the first step you should do if you're looking. Include something in your headline that says you're looking. The first thing that people see, and anytime you comment, that little headline is what pops up. So it should be looking, open to work, looking for my next adventure, free agent. Anything like that is going to give you a leg up on people who aren't, and people will be able to see that you're looking. Now, there's other ways that you can kind of look for work if you already have a job, and we'll talk about that as well. Follow the hashtags that are relevant to you. Open to work, obviously. Job alerts, job search, sports biz, depending on what industry you're in. And we'll have the panel add some more of these hashtags that they found helpful for them. Engage to get visibility and post content to get noticed. You need to be on this the same way you need to be on everywhere else. Engage with people to have conversation, get known, post content so people know who you are, and brag about yourself. Everyone else is bragging about themselves. Brag on yourself so people know who you are and what you can do, and hopefully want to have a conversation with you. And lastly, I put this in caps, ask for the job you want, ask for the help you need. I know there's a lot of people who say, don't start out that way. Look, you're looking for work. You don't have time to try and build some kind of relationship. You can do that at the same time as you're asking for someone. Sometimes people can help you. Sometimes you can help them. Sometimes you guys can help each other, but always ask for the job you want and ask people for help. And Jill will tell a little bit about that with how she kind of got to be more of an influencer on LinkedIn. 5 things you can do to help job seekers: like, comment, and share. And we're going to talk about this throughout the whole day. Every time you like, comment, or share a post, your whole network has the opportunity to see that. So I have 5,000 people. Some people have 30,000 followers, or another 5,000 people that they're connected with. That could really add up very quickly. So if you're looking for work, if someone's looking for that job post, just clicking like, don't scroll by it, click like. It does no harm to you, and it could help someone find their next opportunity. Connect with open to work people who are sharing job postings. Everyone on this panel, I can speak for myself. I assume I could speak for them. Connect with them, follow them. They're sharing jobs all day, every day. Tag someone if you think they'd be a good fit for that job.
Hey, Matt, I'm seeing some people posting that they're having issues with the audio.
I don't know why that is. We'll get to that in a second. I'm just about done here.
Got it.
Engage with those looking for work with positive messages and helpful tips. People post, stories about how they're frustrated. Engage with them. Tell them, keep it positive and share their stuff so you can help them and share good stories about people who found jobs. I know Andrew does a great job of that, and hopefully he'll talk about that a little bit more. And help as much as you can. You never know if you're going to be the one looking for work and needing help yourself down the line. Do it because it's the right thing to do. One click could change everything for someone. So I'm going to stop sharing here. It says that there's no sign, no picture. Do we have that now on LinkedIn?
No, the picture is not showing up on LinkedIn right now, but it might be.
Okay, well, if you can hear me, you say no picture. If you can hear me, these slides are going to be available on our website. This is why this is not my profession. I'm not technical with this, but hopefully you could hear. Can you guys hear? Put in the comments if you can hear us. You should be able to hear the audio.
I've got no sound, no picture from Clara.
Yeah, that was like they should use. Okay, Clara, we're working on it. Thanks for the support. We need someone to tell us if you can hear us. You're saying you can't hear us at all.
I have LinkedIn pulled up. It's just a black screen circling.
Yeah, that's what mine is doing as well. If they can't hear us, then they're not going to be able to comment either.
No.
And I just pulled it up on my phone, and I'm not hearing audio.
Well, StreamYard. It says we're live, but you see that it's live, right?
Where else are you streaming besides LinkedIn?
I'm streaming on my Facebook. Let's get them there, I guess.
That sounded wonderful, Matt.
What was that?
That sounded wonderful to us.
Let's see if this will work. Post in the comments. Let me.
I just posted in the comments. I asked, "Can you hear us?"
Yeah, and I just said we were working on this now. Hang tight.
Facebook looks like it's working, so.
You can join my Facebook link if you can hear me in the comments. That's on YouTube.
Yeah, it looks like they can't hear you, Matt.
That was on YouTube.
I don't know if we need to disconnect and reconnect.
Does that make all of us?
No, I think it would just be Matt on his end because it definitely worked before. People were popping in and making comments.
If you join my,
Definitely was, yeah.
yeah, I saw people hearing, but it sounds like it stopped for some reason but it's working on Facebook, right? I have video, but no audio.
I'll go on your Facebook and double check that.
This is, I wonder why that is. Do we have, let me see if this works. Does this work better if I put people on the side? Keep posting in the comments for people. Can you hear me on Facebook?
Hold on 1 second.
Caitlin says it
I'm going to
works.
click off LinkedIn.
If you can hear me on Facebook, let me know.
I can hear you on Facebook.
Yeah, okay. So let's go on Facebook. If you guys can just click on the Facebook link, you could write comments in there.
Is your Facebook link, is that link public?
It should be, yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I can put it in the comments.
All right, so you see here, if you comment on Facebook, it should work, and we'll get your comments up here. So again, sorry for the technical difficulties here. Facebook seems like it's working, so we'll go with that. It's so post in the comments, and we'll put your LinkedIn, any information you want people to know. What are you looking for? You're gonna have to join. Sorry, you're gonna have to join on Facebook, I think, to get the feed going.
Yeah.
Great. But and is that a link? I see it's in here, but is that an actual link? Like they could just click on
Yeah.
in there? Okay.
The one that Lee just put up,
Yeah.
it goes directly to it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think it matters. Let's all be on the same screen here together. Okay. All right. We're back. I think we're operating. It's going to be on replay. We'll do it. One of the reasons why I wanted to have people join live is so they could comment and talk about what they're looking for. So put some questions in there. Comment on what you're looking for from work. If there's a company that you're looking to target, comment there. Someone could be watching who could know someone there and help you. So Let's get started here. We'll go around the panel again. I did a couple slides here. I'd like you to expand, just let's take about a minute each or expand on the comments that on the slides that I had, and just give a little bit more about, what you think should be added to those slides. Chris, let's start with you.
Absolutely. So Matt and Jill, thank you guys so much for the invite and allowing me to be here. I do have a passion around trying to help others because I've been in a spot looking for a job before. And during the times, and unfortunately it was more than just once, and during those times, there were definitely days where I would go and feel like nobody on LinkedIn, nobody on any other types of sites, or in my real life touchy-feely network was aware or on my side or had the time to help. So to the point that you made earlier, it takes a nanosecond to like a job that is scrolling through your feed and allows a greater distribution to see that than if not. So, I consider it not only a passion, but kind of part of a ministry of just trying to be there for people in my network and letting them know that they never have to walk alone.
Yeah, I think it's great. I'll tell you, I was out of work for about 2 years full time back before a while back, and I was barely on LinkedIn. If I was looking for work now with the resources that are out there and the network, I mean, it's crazy the amount of people who are looking to help. And the people on this panel, these are high profile people at high profile companies, and the jobs that Chris and Mark and Jen and Lee and Andrew, and I haven't seen as many from Linda, but we just met, so I'm looking forward to following what she's doing. They're great jobs. I mean, if I was looking for jobs, I probably would apply to 50 of them by now. So just click that button. I used to never click because I didn't want my activity to be filled up. Just click the button, help people. Jen, talk to us a little bit about what you're doing and how you're doing it, and if you have anything to add to the slides.
Sure. No, absolutely. I think honestly, the biggest thing is surround yourself, just like you would in your normal non-virtual life, with people that are helpful and that are positive. There's a lot of people on LinkedIn that only brag, and that's really all they do. But there are people that are actively, you can feel it in what they're posting too. They're posting really good content. They're sharing panels. They're sharing webinars. They're sharing research that they've done. They're sharing job postings. So if you see that person that you may not be directly connected to, and they pop up because somebody liked it in your feed, who cares if they're in your industry? Just add them anyway. They're a good person. We all want to know good people. It's not hurting anything, like we were saying, even like the job postings. So I started out that way, just adding people that I thought looked interesting and were doing some different things than me, so I could have a better understanding of some things outside of my industry since it's so hyper-focused.
Yeah.
And I think it's also helpful when you do go attend those panels, or you're at something like this with the town hall. We're all here. You've got our names right up here. Go find us on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for having this panel or this webinar. I just, thought it was some great insight. Would love to add you to my network. And there's your nice, easy intro. It's not a cold intro. You're not just slamming somebody's door down trying to get in. They're now seeing that you've made efforts to do that. So I really try to reiterate to especially younger kids, because I also teach, just make sure that you're making an introduction that's a little bit more memorable than just connecting that link. Just say, hey, I saw you do this, or I saw you post that. I really appreciate it. Just something to get that extra level of connectivity.
Yeah, that's a great point. You just, like I say, you never know who is who they are now, who they're going to be. Raise your hand on this panel if you've switched industries.
Yeah.
So, I went from, sports and entertainment to financial. Now I'm back into sports and entertainment. So, you just never know where someone's going to be. And so click with someone, accept it. Look, there's spam out there, accept it. But if you feel like it's spam, you could always block them. We got a question here from Chris, want to address, because it's probably a question that a lot of people are asking. We've had the same question on our other programs. He's been job searching for a year. Do you think having the gap on your resume looks bad to hiring managers, or do you think most are sympathetic to the pandemic this year? I'll start out and then we'll let the panel. The answer to that question is yes. Some people are going to not like the gap, but certainly the pandemic is a valid excuse for it. So what I would do personally is put COVID. If you lost your job because of COVID, put that on there. If you had an internship and they canceled it because of COVID, right? Lost because of COVID. You earned that internship if they hadn't offered to you. I think people are going to be a lot more willing to talk to people who have that gap now. I think they should have been. There was a great article. I'll have to post it in this about, stop worrying about the gap that someone might have had. You have no idea why they had that gap, and it's none of your business. Maybe they had a family emergency. Maybe they just needed a mental break. So I would say, don't worry about it. And if you can speak confidently about it, and that was one of the things I had a very, very difficult time of doing, is speaking confidently about the jobs I had in the past and why I had that gap. I don't think it's going to matter as much now. I assume most people here on the panel would agree with that. I know, see Liz here says that they do. Does everyone here agree with that?
Yeah, if I could just chime in, because not only do I know Chris, but I work with Chris, and I know that Chris is an amazing PR practitioner. I also think, and I know Chris has done this personally, that he's been so active with trainings and certifications and additional education that, anything he can get his hands on as far as for what LinkedIn and some other outlets have been providing, I think that goes a long way. I think that speaks volumes that he's not sitting at home just sort of spinning his wheels. He's looking to add to his skill set. He's looking to be more informed. He's attending, events like this. So I think those all should also be added to your LinkedIn profile, to your resume, that you are accruing new skills while you're still searching.
Yeah, excellent. We got a lot of questions here, but I want to get everyone on the panel to kind of talk a little bit about why they're here and what they're doing, because they've given their time to us. So I want them to, get the recognition that they deserve and to talk a little bit. So let's continue on. And I see some questions here. Joe, Carla, we'll get to your question. Liz, we'll get to those questions in a few minutes, but I want the rest of the panel to get a chance to talk. So Linda, just a little bit more. I know you chimed in there, but just a little bit more about, what you're doing now to help.
To your slides, I think the most important thing that I saw, and they were all great ideas and suggestions, is ask for help. Because I think in times past, looking for a job was a very solitary, one-off thing you're doing. Either you have a job and you're looking for a new job, or you're embarrassed that you lost a job, so you're sort of just doing this at home, alone. And, I started my Friends Helping Friends Find Work Facebook group, because I like to think of it as crowdsourcing for success. I think everybody should, try to help if you can. And, you should network all the time, not just when you're looking for work. And don't, don't let it sort of get you down that you're getting rejections or things like that. I actually had a rejection myself. I think if anyone didn't hear me earlier, I lost my job last year, June. Was fortunate to find a new job. I pivoted yet again into a new industry. But I think the one thing that I found was I actually got a rejection letter from Johnson & Johnson, and it was so thoughtful. And I knew that it was a form letter, but it was a thoughtful form letter. And I've never gotten the responses that I got. And not only did I get, gosh, I wish everyone would be this thoughtful in HR, but I actually got the hiring manager for that job to contact me. And that wasn't even my intention. I didn't even think about that. I was just so impressed with the actual thanks but no thanks letter and how thoughtful it was. But then she reached out to me and said, I don't know why you didn't make it into the cut. Let me go back and see. So you just never know. And I feel like I have another, contact at Johnson & Johnson. So just, be kind. It's kind of my mantra, and it might get old, but always be kind, help when you can. And if you haven't already, then come on over, join us at Friends Helping Friends Find Work, because we have great jobs that are being posted and a lot more engagement. We started on March 22nd, and there's still a lot of people needing work. So
it's a great Facebook. I joined it. Linda, can you put the link in the comments? The first thing I'll say right now is what you should do is connect with everyone here on LinkedIn. join that Facebook group. That's the first thing that everyone should do if you're looking for work or if you're wanting to help more like everyone on the panel is. Linda, if you could put that link in the comments, that would be helpful. Again, we're going to get to your comments and questions here. I just want to give everyone on the panel some time to talk. They've been waiting patiently. Andrew, you've been on the Learning LinkedIn Live for the first two, and talk a little bit more about your Free Agent Fridays and your podcast, and tell people what you're doing.
Well, I mean, Free Agent Fridays was kind of something that was just born out of seeing everyone on LinkedIn that I knew losing their jobs or connections of connections. And so just came to me one day. I was like, hey, how can I help? I've got this platform with the podcast. And so we started doing little 10 to 20 minute interviews that would highlight, these people. And it's worked out great. I mean, we've been able to help get exposure to people. I'm not going to take all the credit, as far as that, but it's definitely another tool. And I think you need to have a big toolbox filled with tools to get that next gig with the way things are right now. So that's one avenue. And then just through that, people just started reaching out. And, we talked about networking on LinkedIn and growing that. My LinkedIn exploded, and it's crazy. I'm 20,000+ people in the last year.
Wow.
And so over 30,000 followers now. And a lot of it is just from, engaging. A lot of people are on here, but they don't have a photo. They don't comment. They don't like, they don't engage with anyone. It really doesn't do any good. I mean, you got to engage, stand out. But I think, being active on the platform, sharing articles that are relevant, connecting with people. I know Matt and the rest of the crew, take calls from people, 10, 15 minute calls if we can. So reach out. And then when you get in the position, make sure you return the favor. Don't be one of those guys that doesn't respond or
Absolutely.
or pay it back. So I think it's important, but my focus is more on the sports and entertainment side. So it's a smaller, niche, but
think about, Andrew, when the people you talk to, and same with everyone here, you're on sports and entertainment, right? But there's marketing, there's sales, there's tech, there's social media. It doesn't matter if
operations,
it's
finance.
Right? So if you're a social media person and you're following Andrew, you might be in I don't know, accounting, but the accounting world, or so I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. There's 100 different industries, but Jill is a marketing person. I'm sure you would take a good job that's outside of what you were doing, even though that's not exactly, if it's the right opportunity, right? So, click on that. And Andrew, you had a story that someone got a job from your Free Agent Friday, right? And again, we don't know if it was because of it, but we don't know that it wasn't, and we don't know that anyone here. If we can get someone to have a job from what we're doing today, we might not even know about it, and that's okay.
Yep, I think it's been a factor that people who were hiring have reached out and said, hey, because of your video, we decided to reach out and do an interview. And so it's just one little piece, but I think anything that people can do, you can't just do one thing and hope you get a call. You can't just apply and hope. You gotta try to get connected.
You gotta put the work in. It's so competitive out there. People that have a better resume than you, and that's not to knock you. They have a better resume than you, and they're going out there more than you, and you're going after the same job. And with the pandemic, it's it's just tenfold. Whatever you thought was harder and what you needed to do, you got to do more and better. I don't even think that was good English, but that's what you said. So, Jill, tell us your story. This is it's how we started this Learning LinkedIn thing. It all started with Jill's post. Just give us a quick rundown.
Yeah, I'll give you guys the sort of quick story, which is I, like most people probably on here, I was laid off at the beginning of April last year as a direct result of COVID. And, I kind of sat around and did the applying for jobs thing. And then I kind of hit a breaking point, and not in a bad way, but I hit this one day where I was like, I'm so frustrated. Similar to what Chris asked, I have a couple gaps in my resume. I'd left a job after 9 months to take care of my dad when he was ill. I was in the agency world, so I've been laid off once or twice. So there are a few gaps in my resume, and I I wrote a LinkedIn post that was originally just meant for my network. And at the time, my network was like 500 contacts. It wasn't very big. And somehow that post must have resonated because it has today, I think, something about 500,000 views. And from that, people kept reaching out to me. And 99.9% of the comments were, I'm in the same boat, or they were positive or encouraging me. And my network started to grow. I sort of changed my attitude of LinkedIn, which used to be, if I don't know you or we don't work in the same industry, I don't need to connect with you, right? So I've sort of changed that, and I was like, well, what's the point? Like, I don't put personal information. This isn't Facebook. This isn't my Instagram. I can accept whoever. So that's how my network started to grow and grow and grow. And I'm probably about 5,000 connections now. And from that, I thought to myself after that post, well, I'm pretty lucky, right? I have money in savings. I have a roof over my head. I have a family that's not going to let me go homeless. I have a college education from a good school. So I'm in a much better place than a lot of other people. People were reaching out and saying, my husband and I both got laid off, or my wife's medication costs $1,000 a month and I can't afford this. And these are real stories that people were telling me. So that's when I was like, well, I have this newfound LinkedIn network. I need to use my powers for good, right? I am not in a desperate situation where I need to find a job. As much as everybody wants to get back to work, I'm not going to lose my home. I can afford my own health insurance. So I decided that was when I was going to start highlighting people. It doesn't matter what field they were in. I didn't need to know them. I just wanted to get people out there, because not everybody has the LinkedIn network I have. A lot of people didn't really know how to go about promoting themselves. So I spent every day for about 6 months, from July to about December, highlighting people who were candidates. I do know that I got a couple, I personally did not get them jobs, but I got them connected to the job that they got. And so, the feeling was good, and it's easy for me to be able to pay it back to people. I did slow down and stop doing that simply because I took a job at the time, was a freelance role, and now I'm back on the market. If anyone knows anyone who's looking for a marketing person, but my 6-month freelance role was ended. So that's kind of my story. The only thing I had to add to the slides that we showed earlier is 2 things, which is we talked about adding #OpenToWork to your profile. Also, a really good idea is to make sure you have the green circle.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, the icon.
Yeah, there's 2 different ways to do that. Feel free to message me on LinkedIn if you're not sure how to do it. Feel free to connect with me. I'm happy to walk people through that. The other thing is have somebody look at your LinkedIn. If you're not sure if it looks good, have someone look at it. I'm happy to do it. I've done it for a number of people. At my previous role, I did a lot of hiring. And one of the things we always did was compare a resume to somebody's LinkedIn. So make sure your resume and your LinkedIn match, that they have the same jobs and the same titles and the same roles. And make sure your LinkedIn shows something that makes you stand out. It doesn't need to be that I'm a senior marketer. Mine says I'm a people connector, senior marketing professional. Make sure you just stand out. So I'm happy to offer that for free for anybody who is, wants somebody to review their LinkedIn. I like doing that. So feel free to message me on LinkedIn directly if you want to. And this presentation that we showed earlier has all of our LinkedIn contact, and it'll be up on the LinkedIn Learning Session website. So I can add that.
The website has the previous ones, and we're easily accessible. Just a couple of things here. I want to welcome everyone who's joining us now. We had some technical difficulties. This is Learning LinkedIn Open to Work. And we're just trying to match people who are looking, help them with some ideas that maybe they didn't think of or that reinforce it. But we're here to highlight people. So Joe Nell, interested in sports and entertainment, operation, community relations, fan guest engagement. If you know people hiring, I know everyone on this panel has posted jobs that he can apply to. So connect with everyone here and go back into their history. Donnie, a friend of mine, he is a content producer in sports and entertainment. Again, he's connected with a few of you, I believe, because I've definitely mentioned it. But post what you're looking for. Ryan puts LinkedIn. He wants you to connect with him. So put everything in here in the comments. We'll highlight it. Put your questions in. Not sure what that question is, but we'll
and if you guys want to connect with me, I'm happy to start highlighting people again. Like I said, the only reason I didn't do it was a time thing. I've got the time again. And one other thing is Brent Joseph Mechler, sorry if I butchered your name, has a really, really, really good point in this comment. I interviewed tons of people at my last job. The amount of thank you notes I got was like 1%.
Yeah.
I remember the days, and I'm going to age myself, where I already had a card that like already had like a thank you kind of written out on it, or I would write it. I'd have it with me at a job interview, and I lived in New York City at the time, and I would handwrite a thank you note. I already had the stamp on it, and I would literally find the closest mailbox, and it would get mailed. I don't mind personally if it's emailed. Handwritten is always a nice touch, but a thank you note, even for a phone interview, for an informational interview, doesn't have to be like an in-person Zoom, any kind of contact, just send a thank you note, because that makes you stand out, because I can't tell you how many people do not do that anymore.
Yep. All right. Let's get on and move on a little bit. Let's get. We're going to get to Mark and Lee. Mark, tell us a little bit. I found you from the jobs you posted, and I saw one post that had, I don't know, 10 jobs in there, all high quality jobs, and now you have people connected to that job. So tell us more about that and what you're doing.
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, I just started aggregating jobs and sharing them. I thought it was very helpful for the job posters as well as any job seekers. I mean, LinkedIn is kind of a great place for that. I agree with Chris, actually, where it's not that hard to like something, to share something, to comment something. And so what I was doing was just screenshotting or sending an email to myself about roles. And then I would look at, a couple of days, I'd start posting them. What's been amazing is actually the amount of jobs that I now have to post I start feeling guilty. And now there's this extreme guilt that I have to post. But it's been great. I've been very well received. A lot of people have been very, very thankful. I definitely know a lot of people have connected as a result. And I think what's missing on your slide is, if I post a job for marketing at a company, that company may have other roles. And if they're posting for one, they may have other roles. And so what I would urge everyone to do is, when you see a job, click on the link and then start navigating throughout the different places for their careers, the career sections. And that's where the opportunities are. But what you need is that first person to get you in the door.
Yep.
I think where I'm trying to tag people is the person who posted that. Usually they're the hiring manager or close to it. Getting your resume to the top of the pile is critical now when there's a pile this big. So if you can continue to follow what's going on, is if you see the hiring manager, write them a note. We're all very open to having everyone write us notes on LinkedIn. Just reference open to work. Hey, I saw you. Because if you don't, then it looks like you're just going to be, hey, I saw your profile, and it looks like spam. So if you put something meaningful in the comments as you're starting to connect with someone, you're more likely to get accepted. By me, I know that, but by anyone. And if you reference that you saw a job that was posted that you might be relevant in, or you need help navigating, people are very willing to help these days.
Very. And everyone's going to give some extra tips. I just wanted to keep that short and do 5. Our other PowerPoints have a lot more tips on do this and don't do that. But everyone's going to get a chance to give some more tips. That's great. You don't have to go to the top of the pile to get to the top of the pile also, right? You can go to, if you are connected to an intern, they might be able to do more for you than the director, because they'll have more time, they'll have more willingness to do it. There might be some financial incentive for them to do it. A lot of reasons to do it. Lee, thanks for being patient. Last but not least on the panel, and then we'll get to the questions. I found you by all the jobs you were posting. We've shared some people. I sent some people your way. Tell everyone what you're doing and kind of why you're doing it and how you're doing it. Sure.
Well, first off, I'm glad to be last, because I loved listening to everybody else and how they've gotten where they are. So really great. It's funny. I mentioned too in the fact that Linda and I connected too when Linda was on the search, and that's how we connected. And I feel like, Jill, you and I also connected at some point as well. The reason I really started doing this was I graduated college during a recession, and this was very tough times. I couldn't find a job, literally to the point where I was offered a job to work for the New Jersey Nets selling season tickets in 2009, and they were not the best. It was a commissions-based job, and I said, you know what? Let me see what else I could do. And I ended up taking a non-paid internship, which ultimately led to a freelance gig, which ultimately led to being hired as an assistant. And now 12 years later, I am a director in the same company with the same team. And the reason I am so pro this is because of the fact that LinkedIn was where I started, because LinkedIn was just, in its infancy. And I connected saying, look, I'm on the job hunt. Is there anyone who can help me? And it was very tough. Jill, you mentioned earlier, if they're not in my network, how can they help me? Why should I connect with them? And I went through that. I had family friends who even said, why should I connect with you if you're not in my industry? And I took that personally. And I said, I'm never going to be that person. So even if it's in someone in a different industry, and Matt, you and I talked about this in the past too, where even if they're not in the same industry, it's like, let's find a way to connect at least. So that's where I really started. It was like, I went through this. I don't want people to go through this. And COVID hit, and one of my best friends was looking for work. And I said, I got to help you in some way. I got to find a way to do this. I have a job. I want to be there and support. And, even if I don't really know who you are, but I know your name in passing, or you show a spark, you show some kind of interest that makes me want to help you. Like, I'm there. I met with someone who was a college student who linked in with me, and I just felt that emotion and that, like, she had that it factor, if you will. And I said, what are you doing on spring break? And she goes, nothing. Why? I said, you want to work in festivals. I'm going to send your resume to South by Southwest, where I'm on the advisory board, and I'm going to shoot it over to them. Next thing you know, she gets a job working for South by Southwest. The point is like, we're all human. We all need help. Sometimes it's hard for us to ask for help. I hate asking for help. I hate asking for anything, because I hate when people feel that if I do, that I owe them something in return, which is not the case.
Yeah.
So that being said too, I want to add one other point that we didn't have in the slide that I think is so important. If you can, ask for recommendations on your LinkedIn, whether it's somebody who you've worked with, who's a friend, who, is a former employer. Ask for those recommendations. Ask for people to like you for a specific skill set.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know if anyone else has this problem. I got people who don't know me putting skill sets. I'm like, no, that has nothing to do. I'm like, I know you think you're being helpful, but you're not. But it's a great point.
It is, because it really stands out. And the other thing too is take chances. The worst that's going to happen is you're not going to get a LinkedIn request that you sent out. If you see a job that reports to the CMO, reach out to the CMO on LinkedIn. If you see it, like, there is nothing wrong with taking a chance. And at this point, people are really willing to do that. I mean, I've emailed CEOs of companies on LinkedIn just to connect. And sure enough, they've accepted. And
the great thing about connecting with the CEO or a CMO or CRO, when I go to connect with someone else in that company and they see that you're connected to their CEO, they're going to be, I don't know what the number is. We'll make up a number, X amount times more likely to say yes to you.
Exactly. So just take a chance. I mean, the worst that's going to happen is you're going to get ignored. And you know what? Then you don't need that person in your life.
I agree with that.
You have 8 people in this room who can stand by and tell you and say, we are always open to talking, to listening, and to giving advice. And also, we want everyone to be successful and succeed. And I think that's what's really great. Like, don't be afraid of rejection. I've been rejected plenty of times for dream jobs. And you know what? It doesn't stop me. I've been rejected by clients that I've tried to sign. And guess what? They come back at another date realizing, hey, I should have worked with you in the first time. So rejection is temporary. Persistence lasts forever.
Yeah.
Remember that.
That's great. All great information. We're going to get to some questions. I gotta tell you 2 real quick stories, because of my LinkedIn and people who know me, I send it to my friends. I have someone I have like 314 common connections with someone, and they won't accept my connection. I'm like, who do you accept? And then I had someone who is on a networking group, on a networking website, that wasn't interested in networking at all. That's all I asked, is to kind of, so it's, we could always talk about, trade stories. That's for a whole nother day. Let's go back to some of the questions that we had and see if we can't help out. I'll kind of answer them real quickly of what I think the group will say. And if you have anything to chime in, fine, because what I want to do is get everyone else on the panel to talk about extra tips and things you've seen people do out there that have stood out for you that could be good ideas for other people to do. So one of the comments from Lee is, show that you've used your year productively, take a course, and that it's not a lost year on your CV. Certainly, that's good advice, whether you have a lost year or not. Where do you suggest we put the hashtags? So I think the question was, the comment was hashtags. You want to follow these hashtags, and so anytime there's someone who puts that in there, but if I always put open to work and job alerts when I reply to everyone here, so anyone who's following that hashtag can possibly see that post.
Liz, I know you just connected with me on LinkedIn, so thanks. If you're not sure, and I think you may have already figured it out based on your comments, but if you or anyone else is not sure of how to get the hashtag open to work and the circle, again, just connect with me. I'm happy to walk you through it.
Yeah, we got a great question from Joe. This is probably a real simple one. I'm sure, why do they seem reluctant to hire people? Well, hiring someone, there's a big cost to it because you have to train them. And so that's why they generally want someone who's already been doing that. But I think you're missing out on some great candidates by doing that. Sometimes you have to take the chance, and go with someone who is taking a career, because you see if they've been successful there, you think it might translate. Now, it might not always translate. And if you're good at selling something here, it might not translate to here, even though you're in the same career industry. But I mean, that would be mine. Anyone else have anything on that?
Yeah, can I chime in? I think part of it too is the idea of training, in the sense that I'm hidden. You can't see me. You can't see me. No.
That was a big question by Carla.
Yeah, no, what I was just going to say is I think part of it has to do with training. Like if you're coming in from, medical and you want to be a publicist, right? You don't have necessarily the contacts that, you're reaching out to, or our pitching skills, the pitching skill set that was needed for that. I mean, you could be great at the job, but I've seen people who have sent resumes over for positions who are coming and doing this transition. So I think if you do want to make a transition, really familiarize yourself with the industry you want to. So that being said, like if you want to go into film, let's say, read the Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, Variety, find out who the key writers are at all the different publications, make a list, start connecting with them and say, even though I've been in this field for whatever, I'm still connecting with so-and-so, and that the business, because that will make you stand out.
I mean, there's transferable skills everywhere. I'm sure everyone would agree with that.
Yeah, I
also
would say
highlight it in your cover letter, because your resume is not going to show that you've done all these steps that Lee just talked about. So in your cover letter, make sure you write one. And then in your cover letter, you could say, I'm looking to make a transition. Here are the steps I've taken that makes it easier for you to hire me. Because, to Lee's point, part of this is the person on the other end, the hiring manager, might not have the time. They might be lazy. They don't want to have to show someone how to do the job. So if you can show in your cover letter that you've got these steps already taken care of, it can alleviate them from going, okay, well, this is going to take X amount of time out of my day for X amount of months to teach this person how to do their job. So,
yeah, but I would also say, guys, just real quick on that, be realistic. I mean, set your expectations realistic. Just because I like medicine doesn't mean that I can walk into the local hospital and get a job being a doctor. So there are transferable skills from one industry to another, and then there's some that aren't. So I would just ask, as somebody that's looking for a job and somebody that has been in the market looking for a job, I just had to be super realistic about the skills that were transferable and could be useful in a different industry. Bone up my ability on being able to share how that my background is transferable in this new industry, but also be very realistic if it's not transferable and I'm just not suited for that role.
And be comfortable with taking a step backwards, because if you are starting, think about it, starting out of college where you started and maybe not entry level, you started lower than you are. Be comfortable with taking a step backwards if you have to.
People are taking jobs below because they want a job. That's a real risk for a company to take, because they might have one foot out the door already, but sometimes they're willing to take that. They could pay someone less money for a bigger skill. So Carla's got a great question. How do we grow into higher positions? She's been a project manager, wants to get to director, worked with smaller companies, not a lot of room to grow, lost her job in music festivals and looking for a job. It's a good opportunity to apply. I think the best way to show hiring managers that you have experience, it's kind of how you word your resume is part of it, but it's tough because there are people who are the director level who are going to take those lower jobs. I would encourage you to post in the comments exactly what you're looking for, so we can highlight and people can see. But my opinion, it's much people promote within. So, maybe find a little bit bigger of a company so you can grow. You might be able to shine more in a small. So it's just, some of it's just luck, right timing, right place. That's what I would say.
I would also say that the director role is VP director. It depends where you are. So in Google, director is actually very, very senior, when in other companies it might be very junior. So a title is almost irrelevant. You just have to go ask for that job. And that's where I think a person should focus is, if you want that job, go get it. Ask for it and figure out a right way to write that first initial sentence to get you into that door.
If me being a CEO doesn't highlight that point, I don't know what will.
I'm going to echo what Mark said and just say, just make sure you're showing your progression, your skills, your successes. If you've generated X amount of millions of dollars in your last job, whether you are a senior manager or manager, Mark is right. Titles are almost becoming less important, and they'll call, sometimes my opinion is, I don't care really what you call me, as long as you pay me for my experience and my skills. So
I say that all the time.
I think you need to, I'm not going to minimize your quest to be a director. Awesome. But also, build that case on why you're ready to become one in that company that values a director with your skills.
But apply for a director job if you see that whatever they're saying is what you're qualified for.
Exactly.
Apply for it. I think, Jen, you wanted to say something?
Yeah,
Yes.
one of the, I was going to say, I'm sorry. No, Jen, go ahead.
Okay.
I've talked enough.
Well, first of all, reach out to me. We should chat anyway. Anybody that's interested in the music industry at all, please. I will talk to you for 30 minutes just via Zoom. I have a lot of time on my hands. I'm currently furloughed myself. So I teach a course in venue management in the music industry. Happy to give you a lot of those materials to help you get on your way. Something I would say is the most important thing is mentors and cheerleaders that you need in your corner in your industry. So if you've worked music festivals, I'm sure there was somebody that worked for a bigger company, and I know you're referencing working for some smaller companies. Connect with that person, talk to them. They're going to understand how good you are and maybe what your skills are, and be able to translate that as well. So if you get those folks on your side to be those references and everything, that'll help tremendously. That's how I got my initial marketing gig in the industry. I didn't do marketing. I made MySpace pages look nice, but that was about it. So I had a cheerleader in my corner who I actually worked with on some festivals, and then got that opportunity because of them. So keep that in mind.
By the way, shout out to MySpace right there.
Right?
I haven't heard that in a while.
I
Jill,
hope everyone on here knows what MySpace was.
Jill, do you want to get a point?
my only comment was going to be that one of the things I like to do, Carla, is if you're looking for a job, look through the bullet points in that job posting. And then you can take those bullet points, and I wouldn't do it word for word, but assuming those are things you actually have qualifications for, reword those and put them into your bullet points of the things you've done in your job. And so that way it reflects what they're looking for, shows on your resume.
Yeah. So we're running out of time. Kind of flood the comments with what you're looking for, because this is going to be recorded. It's going to be shared. People are going to watch this later. So flood the comments. We got Joe, who's talking about sports and entertainment, operations, fan and guest engagement. Donnie is an excellent content producer in sports and entertainment. I've seen his work. We saw Peyton is senior producer, director roles in events and experiential. I got some people I could probably connect. I know we're connected. Relocation is certainly going to help. And we appreciate you joining. But put it in the comments and tell everyone what you're looking for. That's what we're here for.
Actually, I wanted to say something about relocation. Like, that's another thing. If you know the company's in New York and you're in Atlanta, it still doesn't matter, because they may be more open to having people in different locations. So when you look at these roles, don't just assume that they're going to only hire for that location. Ask for the order. Ask if they're going to. The opportunity is to be able to be remote.
Yeah, I can totally, back that up with the fact that my last job was not anywhere where I was living, but ultimately I was the best person for that role. So they made an exception, and this was pre-COVID. This was 2017. I think one of maybe hard things to find, but a bonus of COVID has been that companies have gone completely remote. So why pay $30,000 to move an executive across the country when you can just fly him or her, in and out of HQ once or twice when we're flying again? So I'm exactly with that. And I also would like to add that I have been laid off 4 times in the last 14 years. Each of those jobs have been by blanket answering a blind ad. And I know that seems really hard to believe. And I sometimes just am surprised because of the 100 resumes I sent out, I might have gotten 5 responses. And I know everyone's sitting out there going, you know, I've applied to 200 jobs and I've no thanks, but no thanks letters, you know, whatever. But it can happen. I really just implore you to just try to keep going, even on those days where you seem defeated. Reach out to people, network, but also apply, because you just never know.
Yeah. Any of the speakers have openings, connect with them. I guarantee you, if there's an opening at their company, they're going to be the first one to tell you. So connect with them. Caitlin wants to know about tips to be successful. Look, connect with any of us. We'll be happy to talk about this further with you offline. I'm sure everyone here has some great tips on how to be successful. But, you know, if you got that job, just do what you're supposed to be doing.
Caitlin, I just onboarded virtually. So if you want to connect with me, I'll let you know how that went.
This is how you do it. Joe, again, he's been real active on there. He worked in media planning and buying. He's done brand ambassador, been an intern for sports team. He's looking at transition, community relations, operations.
Language skills. I think it worked for the UN.
This is a great candidate. And put in the comments so people will see. And we'll talk about some other things that you can do in a minute. Carla, it's been thankful. Looking for roles in curation, talent buying, diversity and inclusion, program director. Jen, definitely someone, connect with all of us. We all have good people that can share with you. Let's see, as you apply for jobs, get discouraged. Completely wrong for me. When to not apply. I would say apply if it's a job you want. Let them, you know, get the offer and decide if you want it or not. Does anyone disagree with that?
I would say that I agree with that. And I would say that just because you may not be on paper the best candidate for a job, somebody who may have more relevant experience may not be the right person for that. So apply.
Yeah. Jana, thanks for sharing what you're looking for. Human resources, training and policy, labor, operating. I mean, that looks like that could apply to any industry,
there's a
really.
lot of HR jobs. Yeah.
Especially these days with diversity, and they're looking for, you know, new roles they're hiring. So if anyone has something to help Jana or want to connect because you might know some people, that would be great.
You know, another good outshoot of COVID is I think companies are realizing where they were lacking. So diversity and inclusion, executive communications, internal communications, all those things that were sort of just lumped into HR are now requiring their own special skill set, because HR doesn't necessarily know how to communicate, and executives have high paying jobs but don't necessarily know how to media. And you know, we've seen a lot of D&I issues that have come about in the last year. So companies are taking a step back and realizing they need to put an emphasis on D&I. Look for jobs where there obviously seems to be a new need.
All right, we're running out of time. I'm going to give everyone. Mark, you have to go.
Mark has something.
I have to go. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Give us one thing you've seen that stood out from a job seeker perspective that they've done.
Job seeker that they've done.
Like you've seen online, a post.
From a job seeker, I mean, just raising your hand is the first step. And okay. I think one of the job seekers I know always shares the roles that I have because they're not for him.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're all in this. There are people in the same boat, and so I just recommend continuing to pay it forward. And on that note, I have to go.
Hey, appreciate you coming, Liz.
Thanks, Mark.
Liz, I know from intake, she's a great candidate. Tourism, guest experiencing, events. Connect with Liz if you know anyone. I'm not going to butcher the name here, but she's looking for a call center leadership role and in insurance and healthcare. Andrew, you're in insurance these days, right? A little bit. We got a lot of people thanking you. Susan is looking for director, manager. I'm just going to highlight these. I want to get everyone with the last thing. Tell me something that you've seen from a job seeker point of view that was good. I'm going to tell you what I saw. You need to target, right? Target the people, connect with the people in the companies you want on any level. We talked about that. I saw someone list 10 companies they'd love to work for. And then I saw someone I knew in one of them and I reached out. Now they weren't able to help. I thought that was great. tell people what you want, put it out into the world, and brag, complain about it if your job search isn't going well. People are going to want to help you, but target and post to what you were looking for. Same as we're asking people to do here. Let's go around before we go. Chris, give me something you've seen and some last comments, something you've seen that you thought was clever or good.
Yeah, I think for me and the jobs that I've posted over the course of my career, it's just been people that have reached out directly to me and messaged me through LinkedIn, not just applied through the LinkedIn site or through the job board, but also reached out to help me understand why they're a qualified candidate. So that's what they've done. From a standpoint, just real quick on the things that I would encourage people to do is to add that open to work icon that Jim or Jill, I think you were talking about earlier. I did see some recent data that showed that it was, I'll use the MAT reference, X% greater engagement from hiring companies when they saw that icon. So I think that's super helpful. I think making sure that your resume and your LinkedIn profile align. They are not for the same purpose. They do not do the same thing, but they do need to tell the same story. So I think it's super important, as is your pick on LinkedIn. Whether it's professional and you're involved in a professional industry, or whether it's, the tourism industry and you're in Egypt, make it content and pick relevant. And then just make sure that you stay active on LinkedIn and job boards, and that you stay positive, because it's hard times right now. So stay positive, stay engaged, and get that crowd around you that's going to be encouraging for you.
Yeah. Great. Jen.
So I would definitely reiterate, having that open to work image is really helpful. We all notice it right away. Sometimes I'll just see it pop up as a third connection. I'll add them right away anyway, just if I think I can help. Definitely make sure that you are sharing other job postings, or that you're interacting with the platform generally. I've found a number of people and actually reached out to them to have conversations, noticing what they're sharing also. And I think that just helps you get noticed on LinkedIn. There's a lot of content on there, but if you happen to notice somebody keeps doing certain things, it's open to work, and they're sharing great content, they're making that extra effort. So it makes all of us more apt to reach out to you as well, and be helpful.
Linda.
Yeah, I just quickly want to say, I know we all want to find that job that we either had or was similar to what we had, but I also want to just encourage people, if you see a job that is, it might be a good job now, it might not be a good job, it will be your forever job, but it's going to solve that issue that, I've got a gap in my work history. So take a job that might be a little bit different, and you might even discover that you like it better than what you might discover a new skill. You might discover that you like it better than what you were interested in. And then also, this is just throwing it out there. I'm not professing to be an expert on resumes, but I'm more than happy to give anybody a second read just to catch those typos or those oddly worded sentences. I know some of our experience is hard to explain. Reach out to me either on LinkedIn, on my Facebook group page. I'm happy to give anyone a second read if they're inclined.
Yeah, Andrew.
Kind of goes back to what we said earlier. I mean, I really think that engagement part of it, and not just liking and sharing, but trying to actually comment, and really get in there, especially if it's an executive for a company you're trying to work. Look and see what groups they're in or who they're connected with, and start connecting with coworkers of theirs. But then when they start posting, engage, comment.
And Andrew, talk more about this real quick. But engaging isn't just writing congrats or great job. It's being, because everyone's doing that.
Yeah. I mean, that's easy. And, an easy thing for me is I put Andrew G as my name. So anytime it's an automated reply, that's what usually shows up. So I can tell if somebody is being more genuine, which is what I look for, is like, let's try to be genuine on LinkedIn. But, add something to it, whether it's, hey, I enjoyed working with so-and-so in the past, or, I'm looking for something like that. But I think the more that you can actually not have the canned responses, people are going to start seeing your name. I mean, listen, I'm a nobody. And a lot of people have said, I see everything on LinkedIn. You pop up all the time. So I'm doing something to get my name out there, and it's not that hard, but you have to be genuine. You have to spend some time on it. especially if you're not working. I mean, not working is a job. So educate yourself, connect with smart people, try to learn as much as you can, but definitely 100% engage, and that will make a big difference.
Jill.
Yeah, Andrew sort of hit on what I was going to say, which was if you see a job at a company, check your mutual connections. If you have a second degree connection, ask that person. Chances are for like me, I may or may not know them, but if I know them well enough, I'm happy to say, hey, this is so-and-so. They applied for a job at your company, or they're looking for a job at your company and saw that this was open. If I've worked with you in the past, I can vouch for you. If I haven't worked with you in the past, I'll just say, hey, I haven't worked with them personally, but I know them through LinkedIn. So, it kind of goes back to Matt's original point earlier on, if you guys were with us then, which said, ask for help. That's part of asking for help. Matt, I loved your idea of, what companies you want to target. And I think I might do that next week and just make a list of, hey, give us the companies you want to work for. Just write it out. And then if people know people who can connect them into that, let's all just have a big, LinkedIn love fest. And
she tagged them. She tagged the companies.
If I know that I want to work for Amazon and somebody at Amazon can get me into that, I think that's a great idea. So I'll probably do that next week. So look for that on my LinkedIn. But other than that, I think everyone's tips, we haven't heard from Lee yet, but I think everyone's tips have been really valuable.
Yeah, great tips all around. Lee?
I'm just having also fun trying to stay above the ticker.
Yeah.
I'm just like, where am I? No, again, everybody agree with everything you said. First off, Andrew, you are not a nobody. If you were a nobody, you wouldn't be on this panel, so never say that.
I agree with that.
Number one.
I made it, Mom. I made it.
You made it. Again, I think it really is about that genuineness, going back and tying that into this. You have to be genuine. If there are companies and there are people you're interested in, do comment on their posts, do like it, do say things. If there's a CEO who posts something, be like, congratulations on this. I've been following it, whatever. Just show that you're interested. And one thing I've been telling a lot of people too is follow the ABCs. Always be connecting. Whatever it is, just connect. Find people who are of interest, find companies that are interest, find people who work in those companies that are of interest, and just like their stuff, reach out. If they post something and it's really a big news, congratulate them, or say, hey, I just saw this in the news, really cool, congratulations. Because if people see that you genuinely care, people genuinely want to help you. If you're disingenuous and it's like, oh, hey, just saw this, can you help me get a job? No. What's the point? I don't know you necessarily. Why? When I have all these other people who are doing that. So take that extra step, take the initiative, and also just show people that you care about them too, that you're not just in it for something, that there's an overall way to do things together.
Thanks, Michelle. So look, I mean this as a very big compliment. I could have tried to get influencers and people that everyone knows to come on and give you their same BS that they talked about. These people are the real deal. That's why they're on here. They're sharing jobs with everyone. They genuinely want to help, same as me. And that's why they're in my network, and I'm happy to have them on and pass people to them knowing that it's in good hands. They're going to reply to them. It's tough. We've all been there. I was out of work for 2 years. I'm not anywhere near where I need to be, but I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am without a lot of help from a lot of people. I ask a lot. I give a lot, golden rule. That's what I live by. If you're giving out to the world, it's okay to ask. Concentrate, focus, get out there and stand out. We're here to help as a resource. I think this was a great insight everywhere. But any one of these people on the panel could have a conversation with you or an email or conversation on LinkedIn and give you more insight. I wish I could give every one of them an hour to just talk about what they're doing because they do have that much to say. So lean on us. We're offering it. And you know what? At the end of the day, if you're offering something and you don't want people to accept, that's tough on you. You've offered it, right? I never offer anything I want someone to say no to. So we're offering this for you guys. And there's people in the chat and the comments who can help you. So let's do our part to get everyone back to work. Click like, click share, connect, help people, ask for what you need. We're going to do this again, I assume, if it went well, which it seems like it did. I assume we'll do this again. We're all passionate about helping people. I really appreciate the panel's time because, look, this is an hour out of your day that you could have been doing a lot more. Jen and Joe, you could have been job searching. Everyone else is taking time out of their day, from their job. And so it's really appreciated. And that's it. I appreciate you guys coming. Let's get everyone working. This will be on replay. We're going to share it with our networks. And that's it.
The slides, the YouTube link will end up on our website, which is LI LinkedIn, lilearningsession.com. If you click past events, you'll be able to, the slides are already up there. Once we have the YouTube link, I'll add that. The slides in the YouTube link are also up for the past 2 that we've done. So if anyone missed those, you can check that out too.
Yeah, I'm running late on a call. Any last words?
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
very much. And keep an eye out for this and for future events. And good luck and stay positive.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you, Matt and
Yeah,
Jill,
thank
for
you, guys.
hosting.
Of course.